Fans not impressed?
Even Doggo getting involved here. Well, in any case, Uber, the madness has subsided, the match has begun, and we got ID opening things up here. Well, he was on the Widow, and now he's swapping off. Was only going for the early pick, so Team Liquid gonna play this a little bit more by the book.
Yeah, I like tempo on this map. I think their aggressive dive actually is pretty high percentage in terms of success rate. But Beast Taylor having to back away very quickly up on the high ground. He got discorded, and then ATK just picked him up, so they may have bitten off a little bit more than they can chew. Hang is really laying down those orbs quite nicely, even too easy. Again, hoping to try and bait something forward, but Shadow wants to chase him, and the Discord orb means just one flick of the wrist with the shurikens, and he's a dead man.
Shatter just cleaning up on kills in the beginning here, but it is worth noting just the contribution that both ID and AZK had to that. Pretty much all of Team Liquid playing that very mechanically well, and arguably tempo going a little bit too deep. But in any case, this payload will be moving forward, and we'll see if Team Liquid can keep the momentum as they move into second.
Alright, good start here for Liquid. There's no other way around it. So now we're going to see a little bit more forward positioning here from Tempo Storm. I'd like them to hold near the arch if they can, but they actually want to go through it. They're going to dive in here. Beast Taylor will at least have the Harmony Orb, and a Pulse Bomb falls up a little bit short for AZK.
Tempo right now not willing to give up much ground for free, although this fight not going super well for him. They're delaying it to some extent as Too Easy gets a pulse bomb, but this payload should be kept moving. That said, Too Easy is still alive right now and being a pest. Finally going to fall the ID, and this payload will get rather deep into the second phase of King's Row.
Shadow 2K getting a lot of resets in that fight as well. He can just dash through pretty comfortably. It also keeps him very nimble and hard to follow. So now it's AZK. He's the scout. Ironically enough, he's going to be looking just to see what the setup is going to be here, especially if there's any hero switches as well he wants to kind of know about them, but no, not at this stage. Here for Tempo, going to use this high ground. They're actually going to allow the payload to make some decent progress before they all set up.
And the key thing here is Shatter. Shatter has a Dragon Blade at the ready, and there's a tight area for him to roll into and drop the blade. Here comes the blade coming out, takes down Dreamcasper with 2 swipes. Looking for more Cozy in his sights, picks up the double, and Shatter tearing through this back line of Tempo Storm, clearing the way to what could be an incredibly quick take of second.
Yeah, very swift fight there as well. It looked like Tempo weren't really all that well set up over that fight either, to be honest. They struggled, and look at this. Hardly any ultimates have really been forced out of Liquid over these last couple of fights as well. You can see what they're working with now. They got both support ults available. Attack Visor just got use ever ID because he's forced to desperately now use the Transcendence to try and keep his team alive. Too Easy already felled by that one. The Dragon Blade fatigue doesn't find anything there.
No, it's not able to find anything in the beginning because the Transcendence just shuts him down. Does get a kill towards the very end, but the damage has been done here by Liquid, where they're still trading out effectively, and they only need a little bit more to finish off the second point. That said, with Beast Taylor using Primal Rage, he's gonna buy some time here for Tempo. Whether or not develops into an actual defense here is a lot more sketchy. Both Too Easy coming out the flank, the possibility is still alive.
Yeah, Too Easy getting a big pulse bomb on Shadow. That's going to make it easy for Casper to break in as well with his tactical visor. Now up on the payload, a big boop there actually, just to push them back, but Rafa dies in the process. He is cut down by the heavy pulse rifle. Discord Orb by Mez is followed up nicely by Tig. He gets himself a quick double, and for the first time, it actually looks like there's a chance to set up here for Tempo.
Now, the interesting thing for me is that Tempo, or Liquid, did have a bit of an advantage going into that, and they decided to go really deep to secure that out. I do wonder if it would have been better for Liquid to simply take the fight more straight up on the payload. In any case, they're gonna have to live with the consequences of that decision.
We'll have to see what those will actually be, though, and see how that manifests actually in terms of the game state here. Again, high ground for Casper and for Beast Taylor, ready to dive in. Teak also sitting back now. Casper getting chased initially, Shadow trying to find him there, but in the meantime, Hang gets picked off. Sound barrier here as well for Tempo Storm. They're going to try and pressure this one, and they did so nicely as well. They had a really nice dive core, and Shadow now just trying to clean up, trying to find something on Cozy, but now Liquid are kind of trapped inside enemy territory. Shadow goes down.
Well, Shatter deciding to go for the reset, wanted to check out the new rental properties in that Omnic housing complex underneath King's Row, but if nothing else for Shatter, he was able to build up his Dragon Blade in the middle of the last fight. We'll have it for the next push, and for Team Liquid, who at one point Uber had a big time advantage, now this is kind of getting down to the wire where they could lose the next fight and have another chance, but given the ultimate situation, this is a must win, and here comes Shatter.
Yep, he needs to make this Dragon Blade do some work. Casper falls to Meza, but oh, Tick just gets the switch strike on Shatter while he was Dragon Blading. That's some ballsy stuff there. He's not afraid to go in, and now he's going to pull out a Dragon Blade of his own. He finds ID in the backline, and this is looking good for Tempo again.
Tempo able to push back Liquid, and what a resurgence from Tempo, where they were looking to get utterly shellacked in the very beginning, and they have not only stabilized, but they have taken control of this game. Team Liquid, a minute 45 left. The one upside for them is that fight went by so quickly that maybe they get 2 more attempts left, but they're not going to have a Dragon Blade for it, which is going to put more on AZK to find a way in and get a Pulse Bomb to set this next team fight on the right foot.
The dive hasn't worked out so far. It's just pure and simple there. Shadow without a Dragon Blade. Remember, that got shut down by Tig in that last fight, so he really out-genjied him in that case. We need to see a Pulse Bomb connect. We need to see the Sound Barrier come out when the fight starts, and that's right about now. Attack Visor coming in from ID, but he didn't get a Sound Barrier. He's very vulnerable now. He gets Beast Tailor before he goes down, and Shadow finds Tig and JKW. It's going to be enough.
Sound Barrier gave Team Liquid the initiation they needed. AZK mechanically there on the fall through. This payload will almost certainly be punching through 2 seconds despite 2Easy's best efforts, and Liquid will give themselves some extra time. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining as they move forward, and they have a Transcends for the next fight, which could actually let them tilt it in their favor depending on how Dream plays his Tac Visor.
Yeah, it's going to be really important here as well, especially what shielding is going to be available for Mezza if he can counteract this. Remember, there's no Divas on this map as well. Those Tac Visors actually have far greater implications than we saw in that last match. Let's see though. Transcendence for Dahang going to be very important to stop Casper from really hitting those crucial shots with Tig. And they get jumped on here. Mezza going to the back line, and JKW forced to respond with Sound Barrier.
Sound Barrier comes in, Dream Casper looking for any targets in the back. Not going to get much due to that Transcendence. The Transcendence keeping the offense alive. 5 versus 5. Rafa blown up like a firework by 2Easy. Still, even between the two, as Dream Casper is still looking for the targets he needs. Shatter attacking in the back line. About to have a Dragon Blade, but Tig cuts him right down. And suddenly, here comes Tempo. Dragon Blade will be used to finish out this fight, or not! Just taken down by AZK. That is not the Dragon Blade Tig wanted. And this fight still very much in contest.
Yeah, I've got to give it to Mezza there. That Primal Rage created so much space for ID and Rafa specifically in that fight, and that's the only reason why it wasn't a total loss for Liquid. Now AZK is going to go down. Discord Orb gets followed up by Casper. Shadow also gets very quickly discorded because he's not letting anyone on his guard. And now Tempo will hold for at least a moment.
That was an interesting fight in regards to how much the power shifted back and forth. Tempo able to hold up at the very end. And now, if they can deal with this next Dragon Blade by Shatter, they very well could get a full hold on last. But here comes Shatter. The blade is out. He's dying to the back. The Transcendence really makes things rough for him as Tempo strikes right back.
Yeah, Mezza and ATK now kind of finding themselves lacking teammates, and because he's going to catch them on the drive-by there. 2Easy and Beast Tailor working quite nicely on that dive through. And interesting, Tig almost dropped off the edge, forced to dash out. Okay.
Once Tig is locked on a target, it's difficult for him to disengage, even if it means he's going into a pit. Either way, he avoids that tricky situation. Tempo going even further deep here could work out well, could be a disaster, but with Mezar going down, it's looking to be a little bit better. But here comes ID. The Tac Visor is up, using it, gets one kill early on, takes out his counterpart, and Team Liquid might be punishing Tempo for what was an aggressive defense.
Yeah, I mean, the Beast Tailor's gone very, very deep on that dive there as well with the Primal Rage. It's worked out, at least for the most part. It was able to take down ID. To hang, not many people to benefit from that Transcendence right now, but he's going to hope that it sticks, especially on Mezza. Keep him nice and topped up. AZK still there to get the damage done. Beast Tailor falls to Rafa. Now 2Easy's on the backside of the payload, but all of his teammates are gone because Rafa's just gone absolutely postal on that one. JKW falls. Lucio battle 1, and Liquid careening towards again, but we're in overtime.
We are in overtime, so for Team Liquid, they have no more mulligans here. They must push this through on this final fight. All Tempo Storm has to do is pull them off, and look at this. We have a late swap from McCree. McCree can be very good in this last point, and he just decapitates Shatter with 2 well-placed bullets. Now, Tempo Storm in a bit of an advantage here. Dream under pressure, but it's clearly caught Team Liquid a bit off guard. Mezar gonna try and take care of the problem, but it's 5 versus 5, but special delivery from AZK to flip it right back in Liquid's favor.
Really nice. Liquid just, left the McCree off towards the side and dealt with him when they needed to, and then they get over the line in overtime. That really had to be a bit of deep digging from Liquid to get themselves towards the end there, and Tig dying with ultimate's also not ideal.
0 to 3.
The exact same thing happened yesterday, actually, where they were holding the last point in Kings Row and they decided, oh, we're going to take a forward hold, and then that fight spirals out of control and they just get steamrolled all the way through the rest of the point. Beast Halo actually held his Primal Rage for like 3 minutes because he was waiting to pop it to delay the cart, but they never actually had to, and then when he did finally use it, the cart wasn't moving anyway, and then they wound up not having it for the stall. So it's a little weird, I think, that they lost right there. I think that their defense was actually really well executed up until that very last second, but I mean, their offense can definitely make up for it.
Well, on the issue of going too deep, perhaps Tempo is just giving back to Liquid what Liquid had given to them earlier on, where you can take a look at where Liquid was in the early parts on their offense, and very arguably they could have just sat on an advantage and gotten second a lot quicker than they did, but they went very deep into Tempo's territory on third, end up losing that fight, and that's what allowed Tempo to regain so much ground on second, where it was looking like they would have lost that basically for free.
Yeah, Raph actually saved the sound barrier, and Cozy and Dehang wound up taking like a Zenyatta 1v1 on the cart where Cozy came out on top, and then suddenly Beast Halo's Primal Rage just delayed the point forever. But I think if Rafa had been a little more trigger happy on the sound barrier, he might have been able to keep Dehang up, and then that fight goes completely differently.
Stick to the plan.
Yesterday, we've seen Dream start off with Widow on some map. This one would be one to do. I think, aside from there being a mirror matchup, Dehang and Ana on defense shown to be very good against the dive offenses.
Interesting. Dream not showing as well, so he's not even gone towards a window, so you can kind of see he kind of wants to keep this secret, at least maybe for that first shot. And now time ticks down, and it's going to be Tempo Storm in the blue. They're on the attacking side here, and they need to finish the map and hopefully have some time in the bay.
Dream right now throws out the Sonic Arrow early on. The real test will be if he stays in the Hanzo or not. I think right now he's looking for the early arrow, and will probably swap if he doesn't get what he wants. Throws out the geometry, and that's going to be it. He's going to go to the 76. So Tempo will run this a little bit more traditional, and they've already had decent progress in roads past the gate here, Uber.
Now, AZK got discorded as well, so he was forced into a rather early recall there, and the Winstons passing each other like ships in the night, both of them trying to dive on each other's backlines here. Beast Halo only gets himself onto the point, drops a little bit short. You can see that it's a very good disengage from Liquid, and they allow AZK just to wreck the divers. This is sick. They back away into the corner, use Mez's bubble, and AZK is free to just deal damage.
I think the best part there for AZK is he got 3 of the really hard to get kills, and then like unwrapping some form of just great candy, he goes to the back and sees 2 undefended supports just to finish that out. So AZK coming up with a monster defense to open things up here, and Liquid, they're positioning well.
I mean, AZK, he's been sick all weekend. It's probably no surprise to see him succeed, but now Mez are actually going to get the nano boost here, and that's disgusting. Casper and Cozy just get completely disintegrated there by the Tesla rifle, and Beast Halo's not too far behind.
London alleys can be scary to begin with, but when you have a electrical glowing monkey behind you just going in and cleaving half of your team, well, it's that much scarier. Mezar with a good flank there, supported by the nano boost. Now look at AZK, holding here in the back, has the pulse bomb, looking to just get hit by Dream Casper instead. It's a big pick off here for Tempo, and they are in a great position now to take this point.
If you read that Helix rocket as Tracer, you need to recall immediately or you're going to die. It's like a puff of air would blow you over. And Casper now is able to get another Helix rocket connection on towards Rafa from extreme range, might I add. Tempo Storm pushing forward. They have extreme control at this point. The odds of any sort of recontest are very low, but it might be Dragon Blade from Shadow. He's discorded very early on, but he finds 1 kill. Now drops a little bit short on his dash. He's in no position to actually follow up on any kills. Tig chasing him, both of them playing tennis now with their deflex, but the point is going to be taken here for Tempo.
Unfortunately for Team Liquid, though their flankers were still alive, they did not have meat on the ground to actually keep contesting the point, and Tig piling on, picks up 2 towards the very end, will have a Dragon Blade for the next fight, and here's the question here is whether or not Tempo can make this into a highly momentum-based play going in the second. They have the tools here, Uber, 5 ultimates at the ready. Liquid must be careful to not let the snowball out of control.
Yeah, exactly right. They can really break the down wall here. However, Rafa having that sound barrier is going to be really important in this next fight, at least to answer JKWs and keep them going. Meza can do a lot of work as well, but there's a Zenyatta pick-off I was telling you about. ATK is down, Meza gets 2, and that's an admirable effort from him, but now the sound barrier is going to be coming in after the fact, and it's a Dragon Blade backed up with Tig there. He's looking for the Ana and Dehang. I mean, we said we wanted to see him on that pick more, but there's nothing he can do about a Genji in his face if he doesn't hit the sleep.
This is still a very good fight for Liquid here, where they were able to deal with the ultimate that were set up by the side of Tempo. They're able to stop progress on the cart, and even if they end up losing this fight here, they still have outs now to come back in and hold on second.
Shadow caught, discorded, and taken down. Pretty comfortable there. I've got to say, it's been some very nice work from Cozy in the start of these fights. He picked off AZK early, and that one was also really, really nice. And you're right, a lot of those ultimates have been burnt through on Tempo, but they are still able to make progress. Now as well, bear in mind that the tactical visors are going to be the highlight of this next fight. ID is going to get a nano boost. That's going to be important. He needs to really make work happen with this one. Shadow might get it as well. We'll see.
Well, the key thing here is that there's no counterpart to Nano Boost here, but there will be a Transcendence that'll mitigate some degree of what's going on, and ID hasn't even blown Tac Visor yet. Didn't like what he saw. Most of this Nano Boost will be wasted. Now, he comes in with a late Tac Visor, not a Nano Boost, and looking for anything here. Will find Cozy, looking for more. Now is a Winston in his face and was a close fight, but one where momentum, arguably a little bit more towards the side Tempo, is taken too easy. The flankers cleaning up the rest of the fight, and this is going to allow them to punch it right through.
I really would have liked to have seen nano visor there from ID. There's no reason not to. There's no diva to stop you, and especially when you can deal with Tig and 2easy quite effectively, especially you zone Casper out, who had a nano visor of his own, but he had to deal with he had a tac visor, not a nano visor, right? So you had to back away if you're in his position.
He was nano boosted, and then he didn't tac visor while I was up. He didn't like his positioning, so it was just completely unassisted tac visor when it came out. However, next fight is underway. 2easy flanking to the back, Winston coming in the front, and here comes Tig for the fall through. The Dragon Blade is out, and he is cleaning up off of that setup. Tig exploding for 4 kills, and Tempo making all sorts of good time here. One team fight away from putting themselves in a great position to win King's Row.
Yeah, this is big. There's going to be a little bit of a stall potential available for Liquid, at least in terms of what Mez's going to be able to do. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot. The Dragon Blade from Shatter is going to have to be unassisted. That means it's not going to have a nano boost at all. Casper and Tig still have the high ground. Yeah, Mez needs to clear them off, and he does that nicely. He knocks them down, but they just get damage done on the ground. 2easy's found Rafa, Kozzy and Tig. There it is. Kozzy once again finds AZK. He finds that Tracer. He is so important to Tempo actually getting these man advantages and getting rid of flankers in these fights.
Shatter, the last man alive, taken down at the very end, and Tempo finishing out King's Row of 2 minutes and 44 seconds remaining. And let's just be clear on what this means. Because Team Liquid had 0 seconds remaining for themselves, they do not get another attack here. They only would have gotten extra time if the time remaining was under a minute. Now, what this means for Tempo is that all they have to do is get 1 tick on the first point on 2 minutes and 44 seconds to win the map. That is a near insurmountable advantage going into this.
I feel like Liquid's defense could have been a lot better. They probably should have had a way better hold on first. I think AZK wound up dying to a 76 in the hallway kind of unnecessarily. And then they wound up just snowballing off the back of that just because Discord against 5 people is a lot better than Discord against 6 people when one of them's a Tracer trying to kill you. So they kind of gave away first, I think, for a little bit less than they should have. And then I think second point, you guys mentioned the nano visor wasn't really there, and it just, the momentum brought them all the way to last.
Yeah, I mean, Liquid had an opportunity after they took one fight during the middle of the streets. They got rid of most of the ults from Tempo, but then they were never able to take it back. Shatter was very close to getting Sword, but didn't do it, and he didn't end up using it until the very end of the map.
And yeah, interesting use of some of those ults in some situations. We didn't see the Soldier 76 from Liquid really get much done, but this is interesting actually. ID on that Pharah on defense. This is ambitious.
Well, the offense is coming in, Tempo with plenty of time, and Dream gonna be busting out the McCree here as part of Tempo's plan to break right in. Rafa takes down JKW early on, so it's a nice early kill here from Team Liquid, but that is the first of many that they're going to need to get if they want to draw this out for a tie.
Yeah, I mean, ID is softening Tempo Storm up really quite nicely with that last little salvo. That's why Rafa actually got the kill, because JKW was like a sliver of health from dying. So that's nice. The Pharah Mercy obviously coming in here is just super interesting in general to see. That Concussive Blast doesn't really work out as intended though, and Beast Taylor's still going to have unfettered access to the supports up on the high ground. But ID lands one on Kozzy, direct vertical shot there, and now he's going to chase JKW down. He put a lot of pressure on these supports.
Dream Casper, under pressure from AZK, will be going down, but the trade-outs are pretty beneficial for Tempo Storm right now. And remember, Liquid can't move freely here. They have to keep people on the point at all times because 1 tick is the margin. Still, though, they're able to finish things back out, and will have an opportunity for people to come in, and oh no, Beast Halo has been found. He is no longer safe. And now looking at a rather decisive stagger here as he tries to live and fails.
Yeah, he's down, and he's staggered, and there's a Resurrect available for Liquid, and ID is absolutely pounding right now. He hit some 6 shots in that last fight, and he was the cleanup crew there. Very important. AZK has a pulse bomb as well, so this is, you're not out of the woods if you're Tempo Storm. You've actually got some really annoying ults that you have to contend with here.
Meanwhile, AZK dropping in, throws out the pulse bomb, does not connect, and Tempo still with potential to take this fight. Tig has built up the Dragon Blade, looking for his opportunity to dive in. Beast Halo relatively poked down here, but Tig getting to the prize in the back, looking for to hang. Wants to prevent the resurrection and does. Mercy taken down in midair. The next slash coming in does not take out an ID immediately, but still Tempo in a great position. A last moment barrage immediately reflected back into ID's face, and Tempo Storm on the verge of getting this tick and taking the map.
Yeah, not much to be done here. AZK just needs to back away for the moment. He gets chased down, and that last tick is completed. An interesting composition to defend with in such a serious situation, but to hang...
If Tempo is going to look to run the Pharah Mercy mirror in this matchup.
How do you feel about seeing Kozzy, not sort of playing the Zenyatta or Ana here and go over to Mercy, do you think that kind of deprives Tempo of any of their tools to do damage?
I mean, I still don't see Zen Pharah or Ana Pharah happening very often in these pro games.
For me, my number one question that I want to see answered here is how will Dream Casper play on this Pharah, particularly up against ID? I think his gameplay is going to be key as he finds AZK with the blind rocket early on. A good opening for Dream, and perhaps it's part of the question answered. We'll have to see, but Tempo Storm with 2 quick kills, very likely now to take this first point with ease.
Casper was just spamming the corridor, man. It was a blind kill, I guess you could say that as well. He's actually pressuring very heavily right now. Casper's pushed a bit more further forward than some Pharahs do. Really just trying to get a little bit of extra damage here. He's already 53% on his ultimate. ID is 17. Let's see how much damage Casper's been able to do so far.
Well, Dream and ID going to get some face-to-face time here over the top. This is just the air war, of course, the ground war is going on, but ID serves one up to Dream Casper there, and with the air war 1, Team Liquid can attack this from all angles, and Tempo is getting wiped out.
Yeah, Meza goes down. He went deep to find that Mercy. She didn't have a Pharah anymore to give it that escapability, I guess you could say. Too Easy finds the pulse bomb on the walls to shatter mech there, but ID is still up and at it. Dahang got that res. Must be nice to have the res from Dahang, of course, in this fight. It's definitely going to be helping Liquid out here. Too Easy trying to do a little bit of damage on the ground here, but he's going to struggle.
That's a good job of delaying there by Tig. Bought another 15 seconds to be sure. Dream Casper back in this fight, but relatively unsupported right now. Certainly not in the air. Cozy, that was just rough. I feel like that wasn't even Cozy's fault in a sense, where Dream put Cozy in a near unwinnable position. It's either let Dream die or die
You
yourself.
almost want Dream to just try and die a little bit earlier. I know he's stalling out, right? So he's stalling. So I think if you're Cozy, you're just like, you're wondering in your head, like, can we turn this stall into like a one-team fight? Because that would be ridiculous value, right? If you can just somehow turn that around. But the risk did not outweigh the reward, in my opinion, because the risk was just so great and it was so likely that it would go bad.
Well, speaking of random rockets that take down tracers, Too Easy saying nice shot because ID just domed him over the top. So both tracers have suffered some Pharah-related malfunctions in this fight, but it's going to give more time on the point to Team Liquid as even if they lose next fight, things should be evened up.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my god, Dream Casper gets a direct hit from ID. It's kind of like jousting with drinking straws. You know, you just need a lot of patience in this Pharah. People find it boring. I actually don't. I think it's quite interesting, but it's not what we should be focusing on. Too Easy goes down for the second time before getting to the fight. AZK just headshots him pretty comfortably. Now it's going to be a self-destruct over on the point. It doesn't find anything. Tick needs to resuit as quickly as he can, and he does. Too Easy after getting rest finds Meza, and now Casper goes for a vertical barrage, finds Dahang, but is taken down by ID.
Cozy trying to do a little bit of blastering versus ID. Still a fight that's going back and forth, but Tempo certainly in the driver's seat. They're going to finish out ID, and that should be enough for them to claim dominance over the point. We'll be 64-64 in a moment, and you take a look at the next fight, there's a lot more tools up on the side of Team Liquid, so let's see what Mezar and ID can do to pull this in over the top. Gonna be tough for Tempo.
Yeah, I think the Resurrect coming up for Dahang is going to be really important here. ID has himself a barrage, but Tig, of course, playing that Diva can nullify that to a fairly great degree. I want to see ID just really start this fight up with a bang here. Looking for Casper, who's up close here. That should be a pretty messy fight there between these two Pharahs. You can see that Dahang now having to break off and heal someone else. Cosy getting beat down. The damage is very even. A lot of poke going both sides. Dahang, he's got res, but he might die. Oh, he's down.
Dahang goes down. There will be no resurrection here, and Team Liquid not healthy at all as Dream dunks over the top on top of ID. So Tempo now on the verge of taking this round. This is dangerous here for Liquid. If you were the wipe now, maybe you could get back, but no. Now they're committed. They have to stand in this fight. If they get wiped out, that is certainly going to be it. 96%, and Rafa not even going to be able to force overtime. It's up to Mezar. The sacrifice his scientist body. The resurrection gives them perhaps a hope, but it's still tough positioning for Team Liquid as they try and turn this one around.
Also quite late. It might still work out though. With ID and Mezar actually popping off like that, that's pretty big. The ID can get Dream Casper as soon as he's rezzed. Pretty darn massive stuff there. Casper died, of course, with that ultimate. Didn't have the barrage available. ID can use his essentially unfettered. Tig's going to interrupt it, but he's not really protecting anyone from it. He's just matrixing because he can.
Rough positioning or no, Team Liquid able to come back in and reverse that. Now, they have to hold on for the next fight. You take a look at what is coming at them. The coming storm from Tempo is going to be Barrage, Resurrection, Primal Rage, and Self-Destruct. So Tempo has the resources they need to flip this fight. But as we see in these fair mercy battles, it doesn't always work out the way you expect. Still though, Tempo Storm coming in over the top, now contesting heavily. Dream holding onto the barrage, looking for the time to drop it, but doesn't want to do it when ID's looking at him. The sound barrier comes in and the self-destruct is in. AZK though finds JKW early on, which is a good omen for Team Liquid.
Yeah, Tig finally takes down Rafa there. His self-destruct wasn't as effective as I thought it might be, but there it is. The Pharahs trade each other out. Casper has to go for the Barras to try and deal with ID. That might not be enough here because AZK is still doing so much work. He gets the kill on the desuited Tig, and now he's able to find Beast Halo. There's no one really else around here except for Cozy, and he's not going to last long. JKW and Too Easy need to make something happen between them, but that's near impossible. Too Easy trying to blink through. Rafa finds JKW. Last recall available for Too Easy. He will be felled in just a moment, and there's not quite enough time. It's going to be a desperate push. Dream Casper needs to touch the ground, but they changed this map. You can't just keep it stalled out if you're sitting on the platform above. You've got to touch the ground, and Farah, that's too risky.
If it's any consolation, the Dream Casper there, don't worry. Even if he was on the ground, they probably would have lost the point anyways.
Yes, that is true. But of course, like, people used to be able to stall the point by standing on the platforms. It's super annoying, and they changed that now, so you need to be quite low to the ground itself to actually stall that point.
Tempo is half a second away from winning that round. And then Mezzer jumps in, they're able to get off the res and get enough kills to hold on for the rest of that round.
I think too that Tempo thought that they were going to win that fight. I think Casper actually went for a barrage on id, traded with him, but his body fell into the pit and they couldn't res it. And then they didn't have him for that last final, like very final engagement. So I don't know. He's making a name for himself in this fire though. He's hitting his rockets for sure.
Blame, the moral of the story there is that heroes never die so long as they're not submerged in water. In any case, we are getting in to the next round here on Oasis and on the City Center. Everyone on the boost pad taking the first fight there. AZK on the ground and Farahs once more in the air.
Yeah, no Rafa for Liquid to start this fight off though. That might be quite nasty for them here in terms of responding to this dive, but Mez has kind of just done that. He turns around on Too Easy. He's not able to get away. No more recalls left. And Beast Halo getting headshot down by AZK is pretty darn nice. Shatter and Tahang have the high ground, but Casper, huge. 2 quick rocket kills over 2 quick rocket shots. Tahang going down there as well. Now the pressure is applied to the point.
It's a good opening here for Tempo, but Liquid still with options of pulling it right back. Respawns will be coming in soon. Dream Casper must do more, and he does. Picks off 2, rocket after rocket, ends with a barrage, finally goes down, but so much damage has been done.
Barrage is press Q to get a kill and then respawn. That's kind of how it's working in these fights. It's very hard to get an unfettered one off here. Now a 2v2 on the point, but it's 2 tanks, and now JKW gets there, so 2 tanks in the support. Not much to be done here. Okay, that's important. Point being taken in that little gap by Tempo now is big. They're going to try and stall this out, even if Liquid come back with all their players. And Liquid make the correct decision. Don't jump in with 5. Wait for the Mercy to come. We can actually fight this and not allow them extra stall.
Tempo striking first, and you take a look at Too Easy. This is where he's really hoping that the offensive Liquid is clustered as they come in. Why? Because he can deliver a pulse bomb right into that tight area, and he's looking for it right now. He's deciding, do I want to jump in and over? And he does. Rafa, his main target, but not an easy pulse bomb with D.Va supporting him, so Too Easy off on this flank. Meanwhile, the fight is taking place in the air on the flank, and ID's able to pick up a kill.
Yeah, AZK is doing sick stuff here on the ground as well. He gets that pick up from Too Easy, does a lot of damage to Cozy and helps out with ID getting that particular kill. The sound barrier here as well, whether it was necessary or not, really remains to be seen. As Liquid in full control for the moment here, and Beast Taylor was just trying to stall inside the pergola. He drops to the ground. Casper now is on his own, trying to get rockets out, but gets taken down.
Liquid right now trying to get progress up, but here's the danger of City Center is that even when you win a fight, it takes a while to actually clear up the scrap and get it fully, because you're seeing here right now from Tempo, sure, they've lost the fight in a sense, but they're able to delay things out. They're getting progress all the while, and it's just problematic to take everyone off of the point. That said, with Tig going down, it does look like they're going to cap 67% to 1.
Yeah, nice stall though. 67%. That's pretty big, and that's because Tempo managed to capture that point in that brief gap where there was no one from Liquid on it 2 fights ago, and then they just made it a really long fight. This is kind of what control point maps are looking like at the moment. It's quite hard to deal with when you've got so many tanks and so much dive going on. It's easy to stall these points out and get extra free percentage. Beast Halo avoids getting killed by that pulse bomb, but AZK gets the extra damage in and gets the job done. Normally, Tracer needs to follow up on the pulse bomb just a little bit more to secure that kill, and Too Easy on the point needs to back away completely. Good control here for Liquid, and they haven't been shaken off. Losing Beast Halo is bad for Tempo.
The other good thing for Team Liquid is that they have to wait until they're actually pressured here because they have 4 ultimates in reserve, which means that they're okay with just backing out and using those once Tempo actually commits to a fight. If Tempo wants to sit here and poke, Team Liquid can play that game all day game long. And for now, Tempo, they do take down Hang and Rafa on the flank. You gotta expect they're gonna go in deeper, and that's why they drop the Sound Bearer. They want to end this decisively, and Uber, they might do just that.
Yeah, the Mercy's got traded out there as well, so both Traces find in the opposite team's Mercy, so they've done their job, there's no doubt about it, but it's the tanks of Tempo that have stepped up in this fight. Pulse Bomber one towards Teak. He's able to stay suited for the moment, even though there's no healing on the point here. No healers remain, but still, Tempo can flip this back in their favor, and they've got a nice bank of ults to work off here.
Now, again, you take a look at 2easy. He's going to take the boost up and perhaps just blink into the other team. He's weighing his options right now on how he wants to do this. And nope, he's going to go straight to the ground. And then again, your target here is a Tracer. You want to get squishy support in the back. Pulse Bomb is up. Rafa in his sights, looking for the Pulse Bomb, throws it out, and whiffs and dies to Rafa. That is not one for the highlight reel.
Yeah, 6 stuff from Rafa there. He's eventually going to go down. Beast Taylor wasn't going to let him get away with that one. And now Hang might be in trouble as well. He gets the res off. That's to keep Rafa back, if anyone. And now he's going to be able to keep fighting. ID finds Dream Casper after the res, and there's so many defensive ultimates here. Now with ID getting a massive barrage there as well. That should be job done here for Liquid to keep this going.
ID exploding after the resurrection, taking down 3, and Dream Casper will have to make a swift exit. Rafa helping out with that, sending him back to spawn the good old-fashioned way.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Rafa actually getting a couple of these kills. He's featuring a little bit here as well. I hope we're getting some camera time for that man, even though as Hex says he's great at another unnamed arena FPS game. He's good at Overwatch too, and that's what matters right now. ATK's got a Pulse Bomb, the only ultimate available really amongst both of these two teams here. So this could be a very interesting fight. This is two teams with not much to work with.
This is also likely going to be the final fight of the match, though. No matter how it goes, it could be stalled out heavily either way. Still, 90% to 99. Both teams looking for the W here on the city side. And AZK finding Tig early on, still has the Pulse Bomb reserve, but 2easy out of nowhere assassinates him. Very even fight, but 2easy being unchained as it goes on. He's built up a Pulse Bomb. Not gonna be able to drop it here just yet. Going for revenge onto Rafa. Close all the way around. Pulse Bomb's gonna connect.
Oh, ID, he's almost landing these shots on towards Dream Casper, but they're not quite connecting. JKW boops him back as he lands back on the point, but Liquid have presence, they have control now. Casper has to stall this, but to do that he has to get a little bit closer to the ground. It's super risky business for the Pharah here. Tig's arrived, he's now switched to Soldier 76, he needed the extra run speed to get out of spawn. 2easy drops down to Mezzo, and Kozzy at least is back to keep Casper alive, but that doesn't last long at all. Oh god, Casper goes down to ID a second time, and Liquid 2-0.
So for me, this prompts a question to our analyst. Did Team Liquid make the proper decision going to Oasis in terms of thinking that their Pharah Tracer combo and just their overall experience in the map would give them an edge, because it has felt like this has been a much better map for them so far?
I mean, for me, I think Casper's shown up pretty big. ID definitely had id rather had a very, very good map last map, but I think Tig's what's it called? Diva's actually struggling a little bit. He got farmed on the first push, he got farmed on the last push. He wound up going 76 at the last second just to like feel like I guess he was doing more, but I think that that's a very good reason for Liquid coming here, was just anticipating that maybe they couldn't run the Fire Diva as well.
Well, we are going into the university stage, and it is interesting to see ID come out with the Pharah here. Generally speaking, it's really only been Yikes that has gone out of their way to run Pharah here more often than not. Many teams opt not to run the Pharah here, so we'll see if this works out. Meanwhile, you take a look at Tempo, it will be Tig going to the Genji, so big switch-ups here for Tempo and how to handle University.
Yeah, super interesting though, because Casper's playing the Diva here. They actually have a Genji and a Diva, best of both worlds, I guess. They can still shut down this Pharah and have the Genji Dragon Blades tearing apart fight. Super interesting. So far, it's going pretty well. Casper finds Mezza, right? He's actually been unable to do most of the damage here, but he does get a sneaky rocket on towards JKW to finish him off. He should be able to desuit Casper as well, but he's taken so much damage, and Tig, he's got the freedom now to challenge out that Pharah, and ID goes down.
Tempo slowly gain control of this. It is all over but the crying. They will take first control of this round, and they're also well stocked for the next fight. Tig on the verge of getting a Dragon Blade, and Liquid will have some trouble winning this next engagement.
It seems to be the case, at least. I mean, there's no mercy on the side of Tempo, so that's something to maybe bear in mind as well, so that the res is sort of a non-factor. But Kozzy as well can do a heck of a lot to mitigate damage with that Transcendent. It's not too far away. Mezza immediately dives in, finds Dream Casper. He wasn't suited up, mind you, so that was kind of already a not good position for Tempo Storm to be in. And with ATK finding JKW, this might be a rough one, but Tig comes in with the Dragon Blade. He might be able to turn this fight around. Mezza finally shuts him down, and the Pulse Bomb doesn't connect.
finds into AZK. AZK just blinked right in the range of that Dragon Blade towards the very end, and it's oftentimes the anti-air Dragon Blades are questionable, but Tig made it work there, did critical damage to the Fair Mercy combo, and brought tempo back into the fight after what was a really good pick-off by Mezar to take down Dream early on.
And this is a battle of two very different compositions designed to do two very different things. AZK gets stuck there, but he just casually recalls out. No, he put the pulse one down. He had recall out of that one, though. Didn't want to challenge out anymore. That can be hard to follow sometimes, but it's 58% now for Tempo Storm. The Transcendence is here. That'll have to answer the sound barrier, and JKW gets his one out too.
Team Liquid engaging off this barrier. ID looking for the barrage. No great targets for it just yet. Throws it wildly into the room, and most of it getting nullified by the defensive matrix. So not the greatest of barrages early on. And yet, you look at how Tempo's dealing with this. Too easy. Being unchained near the back, throws away the pulse bomb into a defensive matrix. Still, 5 versus 5 in the fight. Tempo doing all they can to delay this out, so even if they lose, it's still good, but there's no guarantee they're gonna lose. It's too easy. Chases down Mezar, and now puts Tempo in the driving seat.
Yeah, and zoning off the point there, Casper gets a self-destruct, which means that Liquid have to stay inside the side rooms while Tig has the Dragon Blade. That's just two things that combine very favorably for Tempo Storm. They clean up this fight. It's pretty comfortable now, and we're ticking at 98%. This might be it. This might be a round lost here, and one has to wonder, was it the composition of Liquid that really let them down against what Tempo Storm brought?
I would say historically, Farah has had a very tough time on University, and even though we have a few exceptions to the rule, like, yikes, sticking with it, rain, sleet, or shine, I do wonder if Farah is really the move there. So, analysts, what do you guys think about Farah on University?
I think it's fine. I just think that it was more the fact that Tempo went to something that maybe they're more comfortable with. I mean, Tig going back to the Genji and Dreamcast going back to the Diva, or going to the Diva at all, probably suggests that maybe Tig's Farah is not as good as he thinks it is, or like as good as he wants it to be, rather. So maybe Dreamcast's Diva is a lot more stronger rather than Tig's, and maybe Tig's Genji is just a lot more confident. I'd be surprised if they swap off this comp for the rest of the match.
Yeah, I say that's pretty sound.
Yeah, it's funny, they've only just sort of come out with this one. I mean, seeing Jim Casper on the Diva as well is a bit new.
Well, the interesting thing here is somewhat similar to what we were seeing earlier today with swap-ups. Now that they're off the Pharah for one map, they're off the Pharah for the Garden. So they're not going back to the well here. However, Beast, Halo, and Cozy very low early on. Lucky to get away with their lives, but for how long? They're getting healed up. Tig, no healing to save him there, as Team Liquid gets the first 2 kills of this fight, and likely should get the point as a result.
Yeah, Shadow gets desuited here as well. Something to keep an eye on. He still picks up Cozy with a Money Blaster anyway, so the man has definitely got ability. There's no doubting that. ID into Hang still flying over the fight here, essentially untouched. If you have a look at the composition here on the side of Tempo Storm, there's not a whole lot that can deal with the Pharah, especially which has got so much freedom in the sky here. Casper, if he can't cancel the damage, also can't get in ID's face.
The way I see this here is that, to use a traditional sports analogy, it's making one player beat you, where they're not going to challenge ID, but they're going to go, ID, you can't hit enough shots to make this worthwhile as we kill everyone on the ground. If you're ID right now, you're saying challenge accepted, because you're right, he's not going to be under a whole lot of pressure here. The most that can happen is Dream Casper can nullify part of his effect if he sticks to ID here, which he may or may not do. Either way, those are the terms of the fight as it's set up now, and it's interesting nonetheless.
Too easy though. Finds Rafa earlier on, so that's damage done on the ground here. ID being forced away as he's to hang, so that's Casper getting in their faces. Meza drops down to the low ground, and there's the Genji getting picked up here. That's the res coming in later as well, for Liquid. So that means Rafa's back up on his feet. You can see everyone's trying to go for ID, everyone's trying to get in his face. He just sits off the edge and says, come at me, bro.
Oh man, not only is ID not under pressure, he had Dream Casper nullifying some of the rockets. When Dream Casper goes down, he just concussive blasts him off the ledge before he even gets out of the mech. Dream Casper taking a swim, and Team Liquid comfortably holding on to the point here, so this idea of not directly trying to kill ID and only nullifying him with the Diva, not necessarily working out the way that Tempo would have hoped.
Well, yeah, it's not working out at all. I mean, as somebody who plays Genji as well, it's kind of annoying to get consistent damage on a Pharah. Just think about it. It's very, very hard to connect that. You can't really be relied on to do that unless you have a Dragon Blade, and she's low to the ground. Now there's a self-destruct from Casper over on the point here. Shadow actually doesn't seem to be affected by that one, so he managed to get off pretty easily. The Transcendence now being used in the mix though, and you can see that Meza wants to try and knock this Zenyatta away from his team. It doesn't quite work though. Tig and Too Easy had the survivability to stay around and find both supports in that fight. AZK tries to do the same. He finds Cozy after he pops out of Transcendence, but it's a little bit too late.
The interesting thing about that fight is that ID almost had two people dead to rights, but was effectively directly countered by the Transcendence there. It wasn't bad play by ID, but it was just a good reaction from Cozy. It did drain a lot of ultimates off the side of Tempo here, and Tempo's also in the situation where they have to hold on for the rest of the map. If they lose one clean fight here, that's going to be it. Team Liquid will take the map in its entirety, so Tempo is in a bit of a rough position here as ID again coming in off that Oceanside flank. Mezar gets on the TIG, and it's a solid start here for Team Liquid.
And Casper's trying to get in ID's face as well, but he's just straight up not doing any damage. He's trying to chase him, you know, with the boost, but again, very hard to connect with. Unfortunately, it's not the issue because Shadow got DC'd and ATK got taken down. So there's two of your biggest boots on the ground activities now sort of being taken down, especially when Casper wants to try and cancel out some of that damage.
Dream is a sacrificial lamb to stop ID from doing work, and it's effective to some extent, but it's also saying at some point, well, your defensive matrix is down, ID is free to reign, and as you see as the end part of that fight takes place, Team Liquid is fine with that. They take control of the point, 99%. It gives them the round, it gives them the map.
I mean, as we were just talking about that last
practice, they will go to what they're comfortable on. The best example I can give you of that would be going back to the Overwatch Carbon series, where despite having multiple map choices, what did we see almost every time on Assault? We saw teams get into a groove with Temple of Anubis. What did we see for Control? We saw a whole lot of Nepal, despite the other choices that were available. So teams sometimes, maybe it's because of how they scrim, they do get into favorites for maps that extends beyond more than just one team.
Yeah, we even saw Volskaya as well. It's almost like the map preferences are sort of, you know, ebbing and flowing depending on, you know, what compositions and what styles people want to play. It's great. I'm glad to see more Gibraltar back again as well. It was a period where we weren't seeing a heck of a lot of it.
No, there's definitely a time where Gibraltar just passed off the face of the earth, and it feels like every map has its period where it's like, wait, that's still a map? Either way, we are about to get underway here, and Uber, why not for Liquid? We're going to be seeing ID break things out once more with the opening Widowmaker.
I think it's fine. I mean, like last time we saw them, he made a good pick, and I think he actually got a second kill. He eventually chased down and, you know, switched to 76, and they kept him honest here. He had a very nice flick on the Lucio, but you see here, Tempo are not giving him any room. They're not going to allow Widowmaker to set up here. I like this. We'll have to see if they're punished for this aggression, though. Casper does get desuited, and now it's trading sort of almost back and forth at this stage. It's a 4-5 fight in favour of Tempo, so it's worked in their favour. Liquid probably want to try and keep the aggression up to force the back here and get themselves some payload progress, but Ticket Too Easy doing so much work.
Oh my goodness, the flankers from Tempo just turning that into a very tough opening for Liquid, and yet the respawn advantage, getting more bodies on the floor for Liquid, and they push Tempo back anyways. I will say though that was a Too Easy special, and just knowing exactly where the Widow was going to be. One of his hidden passions is just making Widowmakers have a very tough time, because he's a guy that in his time has played a lot of Widow himself.
Yeah, I mean, ID now as well, like, in that last fight, he spawned back in and just did a crap ton of damage as well. No one was really looking at him. They were too far deep to sort of try and jump on him after the fact. But now ID has to play from this very small sort of area of effect where he's constantly going to be pressured. He's going to have to use SMG more than his actual scope. You can see he's got a Diva on him. He's going to have a Tracer harassing him. Somehow he stays alive, and that's, you know, a big part of that is the healing from all the supports.
Oh my goodness, ID pulling a Houdini there, getting out of a tough situation, but more impressive to me is how quickly Tempo is able to reinforce and get back on there. A lot of times a team that wins the first fight in the way that Team Liquid did would have been able to push that right through Car Wash, but Tempo has fully reestablished, and I gotta say, the aggressive Tracer play of Too Easy has been paying dividends here. Yeah. He has a Pulse Bomb up for this next fight, and very well could be a special delivery. Yeah,
they've earned the respect, at least, of Liquid, and we're not going to see the Widow anymore. It's going to be the 76, but take the Dragon Blade. It's a vertical slash down to take care of ID, and Raptor is soon to follow. These are non-nano boost Dragon Blades, by the way, so Teague always seems to be able to get really good bang for his buck when that comes in. It's not like Shadow, who, you know, quite often when we see that Anna just, you know, can team wipe because he has nano.
It's always good when you see people being able to position well enough that they don't need a nano boost to get the gigantic 3-4 kill play, because it means that when they do eventually play with that buff later on, they're that much more devastating. Still, you look at Tempo, they push back Liquid once more, and they're in a great position for this next fight, with Pulse Bomb, Diva Self-Destruct, and Transcendence, and Sound Barrier all on deck. Plenty of power here. They're gonna open up the Sound Barrier and dive right in.
Yeah, Transcendence comes across the top of the fight here, and Kozi quickly has to jump off the ledge and try and supply his own healing. JKW down for Tempo, ID, the 76, and Raptor are both down here for Liquid, so this is really quite nice from Tempo Storm right now. They're actually very confident in defending here, and they're making it very, very hard for Liquid to get any ground.
Well, for Liquid, who felt really good about their chances on Gibraltar, Tempo has been bringing it to another level here, and a lot of it has come off, I would say, just off good flanker play, but everyone on the Tempo team here has been playing well. You've had great control from Dream and Beast Halo. The supports have been in the back, getting plenty of healing in without getting picked off, and the flankers, of course, have been just doing their jobs and then some. And you take a look at the next fight, plenty of resources in reserve for Tempo here, Uber.
Yeah, and look, to hang switch to the Ana, they really need to break and have a consistent team wipe at this stage of the game, so we need to get his Ana boost, and needs a Dragon Blade. That's pretty much the way it's going to happen. Pulse Bomb from Too Easy, threw it up the backside there. We got a bit of damage, but didn't quite get the kill. Sound Barrier now going to be coming out for Liquid, so we need to see Tempo give them a little bit of respect, a little bit of breathing room until this expires. Now it's expired. Dreamcast was a little bit low, not getting hit.
They weren't able to get a single kill off the Sound Bear. They just got poked. And oh, ID lives, does not get hit by the second swipe. And that is a big swing, or could have been if the baby demon wasn't behind ID. ID was set the tack visor and busted wide open. But Dream Casper, out of nowhere, dashing ID's hopes. And now Team Liquid down to a final, last, desperate attempt to push us in, or else they will be held before first and likely losing this map.
And that stagger on Shadow cost them 3 seconds as well, and that's crucial now. They've got 3 seconds to get on the payload. You can see the Tempo Storm not going to let them do that. Meza needs to get there. He touches it. He keeps it moving. Now, Tempo going to respond. They're going to leap upon them. Beast Taylor gets himself the shield up here in JKW, but it's going to be Cozzy with the Transcendence. That's very, very important now, especially because ID can't get anything done with the Tack Visor.
ID's Tack Visor falls on deaf ears because of the support ultimates there, and now Team Liquid piling in. Still in good position here. However, look at the cleave coming in from Beast Halo. Cleaves from 3 members of Team Liquid. Turns the fight to Tempo's favor. The tank plays Sublime, and the Primal Rage going to be clearing people right off of this payload. Tempo Storm on the verge of a momentous first point hold against Team Liquid.
Insane. ACK now is trying to stall this one out a little bit more here, but there's no one going to be close. Dahang is the next closest player. It's a Pulse Bomb though. That's quite nice. Casper goes down to that one, but it's not going to be enough, and that is a turnaround and a half. We see Gibraltar chosen, and still Liquid unable to get rolling.
0-0.
I called it.
Switching sides.
My man.
Just throwing that out there. I mean, their defense was just really well executed. They only used 1 or 2 ults per fight the entire time, and like stuff like that is, when you do it and you execute it really correctly, is very strong, and you could tell that Liquid was a little caught off guard by it.
Well, the thing that really strikes out to me, and Slasher, I'd love your opinion on this, but it really did not feel like anyone on Tempo had a bad game there. Usually we can go and say, this one person could have done a little bit better, but this guy carried the slack. Everyone was carrying on Tempo in that game.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, as Flame said, they had better ult conservation, and they were always winning the trade, you know, very favorably, either 6-2, 6-3. They weren't giving any room for Liquid to push the cart all throughout that map. And, you know, it's going to be super hard for Liquid to try to replicate anything that Tempo's able to do.
Ain't that the truth? And they're going to have to, though. There's no other choice. They really need to defend forward. We know Liquid have a good sort of fairly advanced defense here. They sort of showed it off. It worked not so much against Yikes, but again, it did work well against LG Evil. That's going to have to be flawless here.
It's going to have to be a situation where, if you think about how many mulligans you have in a map, where how many times you can wipe, I would say the number here for Team Liquid is 1, if not 0, depending on how much payload push that Tempo is able to get even in losing fights. So for Liquid, they really have to prioritize not letting that payload move much at all. Every meter is valuable to them if they want to somehow hold off Tempo for 4 minutes before that yellow box victory.
Jeez, that's just such a big job to do, and well, they're going to have to do it. There's no other choice here. So they're going to have ID on that Soldier 76 here. So their composition is, there's no surprises here. Dahang is going to have to be careful. We think he does his best work so far tonight when he's on the Ana, and it seems that Liquid feel the same way as well. No risks to take. Of course, Ana's so sick with this high ground. Let's see how it goes.
AZK right now under hot pursuit, lucky to get out of there with his life. Tempo taking it somewhat slow here. They're not really going for heavy counter dive. And Dream catches AZK off the last arrow. Oh my word, that is a brutal pickoff. And now going to the Widow, looking for more, hungry for more. Not able to get to hang here just yet. And no, he had a great opportunity, but Dream Casper likely the fall here. And yet lives for long enough to help take down Cheddar.
Is traded out. Too easy gets the kill anyway there, so that's still a positive factor here for Tempo Storm, especially when they've got such a good spawn advantage here. They're trading 1-for-1 is fine. That's why it's so hard for Liquid. They have to get better than parity trades. Now it's going to be a nano boost on the Woods Mesa. We drop down on the payload. It's JKW to boot him backwards, but he jumps forward. He's not going to be kept away from his prize. But JKW is so slippery. He can't keep Beast Halo healed up though. He got bionated and he will get cut down.
Team Liquid having to fight for every meter of progress here. AZK luckily cleaning up Mezar's handiwork. Team Liquid will stabilize. 2 minutes, 45 seconds left, though, and that is not a very long distance that the payload must go. So I would say the danger here for Team Liquid is what happens when Tempo Storm builds up 5-6 ults and goes in with that. Difficult to defend, but it's something they're going to have to do as Tempo comes in once more.
Yeah, Liquid have to win, you know, at least one fight with an ultimate disadvantage. It's as simple as that. Pulse Bomb there doesn't really amount to too much ultimately as Tig is aggressing from that top side. And Sada has to be careful. He's got that Discord ward on and it's going to be Rafa falling. It's traded out. Beast goes down for Rafa. Now the attack visor from ID. This is so crucial right now. He finds Cosy, he gets himself a second. Both supports are down. He finds Tig with the help of Dehang. Liquid needed that so badly.
Liquid, despite their backs being against the wall from the positioning here, they're able to withstand, able to do well on ultimates, and they even have a Dragon Blade up for the next fight. However, you look at Tempo coming in, they're gonna have a Transcendence to deal with that Dragon Blade and a Dragon Blade of their own. This very well could be the make or break fight of this series as Liquid struggles to hang on.
Oh, sick biter grenade coming out there from Dehang. That was so nice. Beast Halo's down to very, very low, and Shatter easily picks up the piece, but Tig reciprocates. He gets himself 2 kills. The Dragon Blade comes in and finds Shatter. Now, there is more work to be done. It's a brawl in the lower side, and both Winstons have the Primal Rage going. Yeah, I know it's going to be hard to watch, but just try and stick with us. Casper goes down. The Roadhog is picked up by the Primal Rage. Winston and Meza, sick work. His ultimates have been so on point so far, and once again, Liquid hold the line.
Liquid now instilling hope into their fans across the world, which hopefully means it won't be crushed in a moment, but ID piles on, takes down both supports, and Liquid has held on here once more. I don't know if they necessarily need the sound barrier there, though. It was a questionable. They're not going to have it for the next fight, and they will have to withstand against not 1, but 2 support ultimates where the most they'll have the counteract will be a nano boost, maybe. So, Tempo, one more good opportunity here. Liquid, almost over the mountain.
Yeah, maybe that Nano Blade, I guess, because Shadow does have his Dragon Blade ready to go, but AZK's already down. That's the pick-off, I guess. Tig's done well. 2 easy's down, so both teams trading DPS players, and now you can see everyone set up in towards a server room, and you can see Beast Halo just jumps in the middle to try and knock them aside. Tig gets himself 2 kills. It's all about Tig right now. He really needs to go big. Now tries to get back into the fight. Shatter can't do much of that Transcendence going in. Tig's going to be looking elsewhere for Meza, but it don't matter. Shatter and Meza get it done again. This is ridiculous. 27 seconds left.
We are on the verge of one of the best holds in Overwatch history right now. If Liquid is somehow able to bring this back, Tempo had all the time in the world. And remember, this is a difference in who goes into the upper bracket or not tomorrow. So Tempo, they've used up all their time. They are down to their final attempt. 10 seconds remaining. Primal Rage and Dragon Blade on deck. Tig, show me what you got. He's going to be coming at the Dragon Blade Uber, and we'll see if it's enough.
It needs to work. He doesn't get a nano boost on this team, but now he's looking for Rafa. First kill comes through. Shadow actually gets felled by a pulse bomb, but Tig's put to sleep. Dehang shuts him down. Too easy to find that first kill, but they need to move this payload forward. It's on overtime now. Oh, there it is. It's the 3-man pulse bomb. I'm going to get arrested by the police for yelling, I don't care. AZK, you bloody ripper. 3 kills on that one. That's the...
Well, Tempo Storm is RIP, but they'll have company because Uber will be RIP when the police come to his door. But either way, Team Liquid rewards their fans for their hope, holds on in a tremendous circumstance, and knocks Tempo Storm to the lower bracket for tomorrow's playoffs.